To start today, I'm going to go through the fever discussion questions that you submitted yesterday. You can go ahead and unsubmit if you would like, so you can change your answers as I go through this. It is important that you have the correct answers, and I've already marked down everybody who has turned it in on time. So, treatment for a fever or a cold. Again, these answers were not word for word in the video, so if you have something a little different, that's just fine. Okay, so for fever, you should get lots of rest, take medicine to reduce the fever if needed, and then keep warm with lots of blankets. For a cold, you should also get lots of rest and eat good, healthy food with lots of water. Why is having a set point of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit helpful to the cell function of the body? Our body functions best at 98.6, so having this set point will ensure that our cells, tissue, organs, etc. are able to do their job and help our body run smoothly. If you can't remember if it's feed a fever, starve a cold, or vice versa, how could what you know about fever help you figure it out? So it's actually the opposite. It should be starve a fever, feed a cold. And the reason is you want to starve a fever because if you eat food, you're actually going to give the virus nutrients and help it grow and spread. Oftentimes when you have a fever, you have no appetite or maybe you're nauseous, and that's the body's way of preventing you from feeding the virus. With a cold, you want to feed the cold because your body needs various vitamins like vitamin C and other nutrients like folic acid and zinc, among other things, to help kill that cold. And then last, compare and contrast elevated temperature of someone who's exercising, someone who has an infection. Somebody who's exercising, the elevated temperature is caused from the heat of your muscles contracting. Your set point does not change very much, so if you took your temperature, it'd still be around 98.6. It might be a little elevated, but nothing in the fever range. And then it goes back down after you sweat or after your body releases the heat. With an infection, your set point changes. So if you take your temperature, it will be higher than 98.6. The purpose of changing the set point is to kill the virus in your body. It will go back down once it's done its job and eliminated most of the virus. Okay, make sure you have these answers correct on your sheet. We will be coming back to this a little later. What we're going to do today is we're going to learn about blood pressure. So this document is on Google Classroom. It's broken up into 3 different days. So I'm going to go through what you are doing just today. You do not need to turn anything in until it is completely filled out. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to read the introduction like we did with the temperature. So I want you to pause the video, go grab this document, make a copy, and be ready to read it with us. So, the introduction. The human body is an amazing machine that automatically monitors and adjusts itself in order to maintain equilibrium or homeostasis. Okay, a vocab word that we should already know. The body sweats to keep cool and shivers to stay warm. This is an example of maintaining homeostasis. All of the body's systems work together to maintain balance. 2 of the most important systems for maintaining homeostasis are the nervous and the endocrine system. And I would like you to highlight that, please. The endocrine system is a system of glands that secrete different hormones into the bloodstream. The nervous system helps regulate breathing and heart rate. As you discovered in the previous activity, vital signs are measurements of the body's most basic function and are useful in detecting or monitoring medical problems. The 4 main vital signs include body temperature, pulse rate, respiration rate, and blood pressure. You probably have your vital signs measured when you visit the doctor or other medical professional. The values of your vital signs act as the clues to help diagnose an illness or disease. This should all be reviewed from your temperature. Okay, 2 vital signs that relate to heart are heart rate and blood pressure. That's what we're going to do today. Normal heart rate for a teen or adult is between 60 to 100 beats per minute. So I'd like you to highlight that, please. Please note that younger children have a higher than normal heart rate and well-conditioned athletes have a lower than normal heart rate. Blood pressure is the force of blood pushing against the walls of the arteries as the blood pumps. So you want to highlight that. The pressure is determined by the amount of force applied by the heart and the quantity of blood being pumped. Extended periods of high blood pressure can damage the heart, blood vessels, kidneys, and other vital organs in the body. Blood pressure is not constant. It's lower when you sleep and can rise when you're excited, nervous, or active. A normal blood pressure for a healthy adult is 120 over 80. Okay, and it is written with a slash sign, but it is said 120 over 80. This means that the pressure on the arteries when the heart is contracting, also called the systolic reading, is 120 mmHg. So the top number, 120, is when the heart is contracting, also called the systolic reading. Okay, pressure on the arteries when the heart is at rest is called diastolic, and that is less than 80. The unit for blood pressure are millimeters of mercury. That's the same unit to measure atmospheric pressure. In this activity, you're going to measure your heart rate, and you're going to look at blood pressure and calculate some average readings for your team. You'll also use an interactive website to maintain homeostasis in a virtual body. Okay, so going on to what day 1 is going to look like. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to watch this video. Okay, you're going to write down 5 words you didn't know. Then you're going to answer the question, these 2 questions. When looking at the heart, which side is the right side, and explain. And why are some parts blue and some parts red in the video? So this is what it looks like. Okay, you're just going to read this, and answer the questions as best you can. Then you are going to measure your own heart rate. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to place your 2 fingers, okay, on the inside of your left wrist, or if you want to do it on your neck, you can do that. There's a video here that will help guide you through that if you've never taken your heart rate before. Okay, you're going to use a stopwatch or just watch a clock for 10 seconds, and you're going to feel how many beats you feel in those 10 seconds. Then you're going to multiply that by 6. Record your answer right here. Then you need to ask 3 classmates what their pulse was. Okay, again, you can email, you can text or call, use Zoom, whatever you want. But if somebody asks you for their pulse rate, please just give it to them. Okay? After you have 4 readings, you're going to calculate your team average. Then you're going to answer the question, who in your group has an average heart rate? How do you know? In order to answer this, you may need to come back up here to see what you highlighted for what an average heart rate is. Okay, so that's day 1. You don't need to turn anything in. Please make sure that all of the things that you are writing are in a different color.